So, One Piece chapter 1157. I know this video is a little late, okay, because I had little complications with my device. I needed a new cords in. I could start making videos again, okay? This is the first video. So, we get right into the chapter titled Legendary Bar. We see Yamato at somebody's grave. I don't know whose grave, okay? As always, before this chapter came out, I seen a few spoilers. So I was aware that Shakuyaku, aka Shaki, makes a bar. I knew about that. You know what I'm saying? I knew about that. And then I also knew that apparently Rocks was gonna be falling for her and all that sort of shit, right? I knew that. People gotta get, let me save that for later. I want to talk about how people need to stop saying this character's losing aura and all this and that because of this sort of scene, whatever. Anyway, let's get right into the chapter. So, Legendary Bar. It seems like every woman, not every woman, but most women that's associated with pirates in some sort of way, it's just like they're destined to open up a bar, right? And that's kind of make me think, what's her name? Akino from Luffy's hometown village, the girl with the green hair. She had a baby. Who is she like kind of associated with? Maybe that bar kind of came about the same way this bar's coming about, being associated with pirates, like I'm saying. So I don't know. That's a side tangent. I'm talking a lot about this first chapter. I don't know whose grave this is. If you know whose grave it is, let me know. But the chapter starts up with the Rocks pirates doing a lot of bullshit. They're in this kingdom, the sanctuary, actually, the international charity sanctuary. I guess they're giving stuff in donations for kids and other people who need and want and lack things and necessities, right? So they're robbing a charity. They don't care about anything. I think the Rocks pirates being shown to be so ready to betray each other too, right? Like right here in this chapter, I think them being so ready to betray each other kind of goes back to what I was saying about Rocks and his downfall and how his crew is gonna just like basically outright betray him because none of these guys follow any sort of rules and most of them don't care about each other like like at all, okay? So I'm sure that Rocks is gonna be getting betrayed similar to how we're seeing here, and maybe even if they don't attack him, they're gonna abandon him like I've been saying. But the fact that they're robbing a place that's a charity for kids kind of reflects that this is like the most acting pirate crew that we've seen, like even more so than Blackbeard. Blackbeard was kind of like a really pirate pirate, he acts like a pirate, he does pirate things, he's like he's scum of the earth, and you know what I mean, like he's cheating and stealing and all that sort of shit. That's what he did. He cheated and stole his devil fruits, okay? He cheated to steal his devil fruits, I should say, right? So yeah, so we see that with Shiki trying to attack everybody here, or trying to attack Whitebeard and Kaido in particular, but he didn't die. They both didn't die because they're tough as fuck, and we see Whitebeard use his earthquake ability to get out of that hole in the ground, okay? And that's Big Mom back when she used to be bad, back in her prime. Big Mom in her prime, okay? So Whitebeard and Kaido escape from the hole in the ground because they used their devil fruit ability. And and by the way, the golden lion, not the golden lion, was it Silver Axe? Silver Axe was down there too, right? Silver Hand, my bad. Silver Hand was down there. So this scene right here, Kaido mentioning how he wants the devil fruit. I know a lot of people are making fun of Kaido at this point. They're laughing at him, calling him names and shit. And it's kind of funny and it's kind of true, right? Because half of me knows what they mean. Like Kaido, they're calling him a fraud. I wouldn't say he's a fraud, but I never truly took his word to be a complete 100% fact of the world. I think he's speaking from the perspective of a man who has these powers himself, right? And he knows the potential of hockey. So when he says the quote that he said, I forgot. Don't get me on this, right? Because I don't remember it verbatim. But when he said that hockey's like the strongest power in the world, and it can triumph over the devil fruits and all that sort of shit. People took it no matter how he worded it. Okay, just because it's him saying it, people took that as like the fact of the world, and like devil fruits are always under hockey. But you forget that hockey, yeah, is versatile because you don't need a devil fruit. You don't have that super strong weakness, right? I might be ranting here. If you want to skip ahead, skip ahead. But you don't have that glaring weakness of the water and the sea, right? But you still get the power that a devil fruit user can gain. Long story short, hockey versus devil fruits, you still need hockey that's equal to or stronger than the devil fruit you're going against to nullify or negate the effects. Okay? So it doesn't necessarily mean that if you have hockey, you're just always going to be all devil fruit users. But a man like with hockey alone, you can achieve everything that a nigga with devil fruits can. Even more, because certain hockey men in history, we got a lot of hockey men in history. Like Roger, apparently, Roger's a hockey man all the way to the end of his death. He's a hockey man. I doubt Oda's going to retcon a devil fruit in his life. So Roger's a hockey man, and you see how strong he was. People like Shanks and his brother, even though his sword is a devil fruit, but Shanks, his sword might be a devil fruit, might be a griffin. But either way, both of them, they're hockey men, right? They're hockey men. So I digress here, right? Whitebeard is super strong. Shiki's a scheming pirate on their team as well, right? So he's getting yelled at by Silverhand for trying to kill everybody. We're trying to kill him, Whitebeard, and Kaido. So we get to the next page, and we have a scene with the Navy pulling up. Okay, the Navy pulls up on Rocks and the rest of the crew. And by the way, I want to say, I've seen a lot of people saying how Rocks and his face looks real similar to the thing. I forgot what you call it. Is it the mask? I forget. But the giant headpiece, or the thing that Kid makes, right? The pirate Kid, he makes the giant skull with like a thunderbolt in its head, same way this is, and it has spiky hair. So a lot of people are making the similarities between those two, and I just wanted to point that out because is that something Oda's doing directly on purpose? Is Kid gonna have a bigger purpose? You know what I'm saying? Is Kid secretly more important than he's been getting used so far? Is he gonna have more importance like Law has? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I hope he does, because I kind of like Kid, but now he's Captain Useless Mid to me, because that shit's funny. I think it's funny, so I call him it. Fuck it. They gave him the name. I didn't. Don't blame me. So yeah, Rocks, he goes to try to sink the Navy, and as we see right here in this panel, I think that. Oh yeah, and by the way, Kid's crew is like a ragtag crew on the back end too. Aside from his main friends, like the killer and all that. So his crew is kind of a ragtag crew too. That's similar to Rocks' crew, right? I just want to say that. But anyway, as I'm saying here, we get to the next panel where the narrator starts listing off the feats of the Rocks pirate crew and all the things that they've been doing and their track record and all that. I think Oda's listing off their track record is, it's like it's a tool. It's kind of a tool used writing these sorts of stories when the character hasn't had that much screen time. So you got to build the legend of the character up. You've talked about him before. Now we're seeing him, and so many things have happened in the world of One Piece. We have to know about things that he have done, that he has done. My bad, I'm not even gonna edit it out. We got to know about things that he has done that are kind of as good or better than the things that we've been seeing that are crazy. Like, we got to know about something that's like near what happened on Egghead. Like, he doesn't have to fight all the Gorosei, but is he fighting like a Buster Call amount of people? Like, yeah, he pulled up on what's his name, Emu. So Just something like that. Oda giving us that moment in the flashback. These are adding on to his legend, and it does work. I see a lot of people complaining like, "Oh, we don't really see it." They're just telling us that he's supposed to be big, bad, and dangerous, right? They're just telling us that he's probably a fraud. So people put him on what they call fraud watch, right? They put him on fraud watch. I don't think you can say that right now. You can't say that because it does work. We know that he's dangerous. We know he's strong. We've seen him clash with Harold. We have enough information, and we're being told additional things to support that legend, right? So I do understand the feeling of, oh, we're supposed to believe this character's strong because we're getting told they're strong by the characters being around him reacting and the narrators and shit like that and the writer. It doesn't really feel natural, but for Rocks, it feels natural to me. That's my point. So we get to the next panel, next page. Harold is still trying his best to get, to patch up things with the world government and Elbaf and everybody else in the world, make everything peaceful, right? Do all the cultural exchange and all that shit now. So he's also learning the truth of the world in the current world and how the government is trying to control and dominate over everybody. That's something that Rox has already told him before, and Rox even said it later on. He said, yeah, just like I told you, they're not going for that shit. It's the world government, right? So I think that this kind of goes back to something I said about Rox having that deeper knowledge and deeper understanding, not just like what everybody else knows, like the world government is bad, they do evil things, they keep slaves, all that sort of stuff, right? The slaves, the knowledge of the slaves, everybody might not even know that, right? But that's like the deeper knowledge that people who have learned things about the world government end up finding out. I think Rox, his knowledge goes even further than that. The fact, given that he appeared on the throne, well, not even the throne, but he appeared in the room where Emu was. He knows that there's somebody who sits on the throne that everybody thinks is empty, right? So he knows about all that shit. He's been watching, he's been listening, he's been reading. I don't know how he knows. Maybe he's older than we know. Maybe he's been around before this time, right? Before around this age and this era. Because, we haven't seen his childhood. What was he doing as a kid? Okay? When he was born, he could have said, I'm back. Who knows? That could have been his first words when he was born. I'm back. So we got to watch out for Rox. I don't know what's going on. But like he said, he's figuring out everything, finding out the truth of it. And he shaved his head off, I guess, as a testament to like his dedication to the, his drive and all that sort of shit, right? And they mentioned Garp and how Garp laughed at him too. Rox knows Garp, and he said Garp should just be a pirate already. He already hates the top brass. Like, everybody knows how much Garp hates the top brass, but I guess whatever it is about Garp and what he thinks is right, he's so duty bound to being on the world government because he probably thinks that the world should have some sort of my bad. That's crazy. Some sort of order and justice sort of implemented and being upheld around it, right? With some rules and shit, some laws and rules. He doesn't like the ideas of pirates. That's as far as he goes, but he's not that deep into the world government like a lot of people try to meme and joke about. Garp is he's not like that. Okay. I wouldn't call him, he's still a government dog, kind of, but he's not really a government dog all the way, right? Not all the way, not like other people. Not like Akainu, the straight up red dog, right? So, they're calling them friends, right? But we see him sitting here denying people's kindness all day, as he does. Ida, who wants to adopt Loki, Rox talks to her, and she obviously doesn't think that Rox is a good friend for Harold, because Rox is a bad guy, but maybe she was just joking with him, right? She wasn't that serious, so. But we go back to the Navy HQ, and we see Garp speaking with Sengoku and this other pirate name. I forgot what his name is right now. God damn it. But he's speaking to Sengoku and this other pirate. I probably could read this right here, but I want to keep this video flowing because I'm not going to do editing. So Garp is speaking about the Giants and how strong they are because they could just naturally crush a group of Marines and kill lots of people just due to their sheer size, right? So they don't even have to be that strong. Okay, Admiral Kong, but they don't even have to be that strong. Like, no, that's not the right phrasing. A giant wouldn't even have to be that well trained of a giant or anything. Just them in their natural state can roll over in their sleep and kill people. That's what I mean to say, right? So they're just talking about how strong the giants are and how wouldn't it be good for the Navy to have them because the Navy doesn't want to accept the giants, right? So it's a weird thing because they fear them, I guess, so they don't want them there, but they also know how useful they would be if they were allies, right? So it's a weird predicament where they don't want them to, they're just stuck in the middle with it, right? Especially the people like Kong and Garp, as we see here, who kind of don't have any problem with them. It's taking them a while to come to any sort of like conclusion to this situation because they don't have that much power. They can't control it. They just have to deal with it and, you know, just do what they can do, right? So we get to the major part of the chapter, which is the title of the chapter of Shakuyaku, the captain of the Kuja Pirates, disbanding, or like at least she left and stepped down from being the captain, I should say, right? And she went to Hachinosu, Pirate Island, to create a bar that we didn't even know about until now. Pretty sure we never knew about this bar. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we ever knew about Shakuyaku having her own bar. Okay? I don't think I ever heard anything about her having her own bar. But this is another thing right here, right? I think it's kind of weird. Big Mom speaking in Gloriosa, right? I think it's stupid that people are trying to get angry online, that people are calling Big Mom certain words. I can't say them on here because probably, you know, but listen, I'm just going to say she for the streets, right? People say that in a lot of different ways. They use a lot of synonyms for Big Moms for the streets, okay? And a lot of people get mad not liking it. Like, bruh, come on, bro. What do you mean? This is like literally what's happening. This is what she is. She doesn't care. If she thinks, I mean, in her, what she's doing, she's getting power. She's strong. She knows she's a powerful, big ass, tall woman. She about to be for the streets and get a kid from every race and multiple different men so she can basically just birth out kids who are powerful as fuck and have an army of children, a big family army children. She want to have a family island, bruh. Population of family. So what do you mean she's not for the streets? She knows she's for the streets, but are you going to deny her source of power, her independence? But anyway, we got a funny scene with Whitebeard getting hit in his head a lot, getting yelled at because he's denying Stussy. He said, I never fucked with you. I never had eyes for you at all. Because they're all talking about Shaki. Everybody's in love with Shaki now since she appeared. You can see Whitebeard over here shining his blade. Maybe to impress. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he's like doing some stupid shit like, hey, let me get my gear clean. Let me get my clothes clean. I'm about to go pull up on Shaki and impress him. But no, Shaki pulls up on them, right? So she establishes her pirate island bar called the Rip-Off Bar, right? And the title of the bar is similar to the cover page we've seen a few cover pages ago with the crew, the Straw Hat crew, inside of their own maid cafe bar. It was a Rip-Off maid cafe. Because Nami was obviously scamming people, ripping them off. So Nami's probably going to open up a bar when she retires with all her money and just keep getting money from having a bar, right? She probably going to have a giant bar or some shit like that. She might make a giant mall or some shit. Who knows, right? But Shaki pulls up. Obviously, she has everybody entranced under her spell, right? They all love her. And she's cleaning the whole spot up. She's changing it up. Rox pulls up like, oh, what is all this noise? What's going on? But we have the scene that I want to talk about from earlier where Rox falls in love, apparently. As we see, he's struck by her too, right? And the whole crew is. Most of the men in the crew, I don't know if there's anybody who isn't in his crew that is struck. The only person who we have seen that isn't struck by her is Rayleigh. Okay, Rayleigh's the only one. When he sees her in this generation, he doesn't react that hard. Okay, so I think the fact that she is making the fact that she's making Rox react like this is having a lot of people get mad and complain. I've seen a couple of the posts saying that he's lost his aura and this and that, whatever. But if you don't think it's funny anymore when this happens, go ahead. I think that shit is funny because he looks stupid as hell. This a funny face, right? So I think it's funny, but even if it's not, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. It's not that like serious of a scene. She's not fighting him, or she didn't kill Roger, or I mean, she didn't kill Rox because of this. Like, he didn't let his guard down in a situation like that. The day a character gets killed because of this, like, oh, yo, his heart's sticking out his chest, go up behind him and slit his throat, or stab him in the back while he's like this. And then if a character dies because of this, or like this, in a serious way, then you can complain. I wouldn't have any, argument against that. I couldn't even defend that, right? Because that's the only time I'd have a problem with that. Other than that, you're tripping, okay? And my allergies are killing me. Let's make this quick. So she opens up her bar, gets to the island, and we see the narrator speaking this whole time. He's talking about how Shaki becomes an irreplaceable treasure to the pirates who made this island their home. And he also says right here, what is treasure if not something that can be stolen? So I think, well, let's get to this part first, right? I think I've seen people saying it. I didn't understand this part of what people were spoiling, right? Because like I said earlier, I seen a couple of spoilers randomly, and I seen people saying, oh, she's the reason for God Valley, oh, this and that. I didn't know what people were talking about. Now it makes a little bit more sense, right? Because this narrator is saying this, and it is highly likely that somebody, maybe a celestial dragon, maybe it was Garling. I mean, not Garling. Yeah, possibly Garling, or Garling is young at this time, right? So Garling, or is it Shanks' son? God damn it, I need to end this video soon. Shanks' brother Shamrock or Garling, one of those two, or another celestial dragon that we don't know about or that we have seen before. They might have been interested in Shakuyaku, and they might have known that she went there. I don't know how they would have, but somebody found out on the world government side, possibly, and that could be also a reason why they are there. Because apparently earlier they said that they were going to stay away. Or at least, I think I remember that. It's either they were going to stay away or no, we can't let them stay on the island. There's too much treasure there, right? One of the two, right? So I'm digressing on that, but that's a strong possibility. So we end the chapter off with Harold being told the only way that the world government would accept him and his kind is if he killed Rox. Okay? They're going to use one strong man to kill another strong man because they know that if both of them paired up together, there'd be a lot of trouble, a lot of problems. Imu themselves would have to pull up, or the Gorosei themselves would have to pull up, and maybe even still get defeated, right? Who knows? We've seen how strong one of the Gorosei members were when they fought Luffy. So that begs the question, like, yo, if they fought Rox, how strong would that be? Because we've seen Rox is really strong, so we can just only do scales of relativity. Like, we don't know exactly how strong Rox and Harold is compared to Luffy or Loki, but we're gonna probably get that confirmation if somebody says something out loud. Oh, yo, you have the strength of Roger or Luffy or Rox, or, that's how we know that, when somebody compares them to somebody else. Like, your haki is on the scale of this character, that sort of thing, right? Last time I seen that was when Roger did that, right? So that's when we get that sort of confirmation. Like when they told Shanks that he does the divine departure as good as Roger and some shit like that. That's how you know that he's up there with Roger used to meet in the past, right? So they want him to kill Rox at the end of the chapter. Will Harold do it? Because I think Harold, it's a possibility. I know it's on the thin line. If I say both of them, I'm either right or wrong, and depending on what happens, I'm right if I say both answers. But I think it's a thin chance of either one happening, because Harold is so duty bound to what his cause is. He could just try to kill Rox for that cause. I don't know how blind to his duty he is, but at the same time, we know he's honorable. He sees him as a friend, and as far as like honor and all that shit goes, and the person he's become, you know, I feel like he wouldn't do that. But like I said, I don't know how far his duty goes, right? So Rox obviously dies by the time Harold is like, executed later on, when Loki walks into the throne room and sees him dies, because Loki's a kid still right now, and Loki was an adult. He was older. Loki was older when he seen his father die. So whatever happens, this is not even the end of the flashback. This flashback is not gonna end with God Valley. That's my main point. Okay, it's not gonna end with God Valley. We still need to see leading up to the point of what this whole thing is being told about. I mean, told for what this whole thing is, even this whole flashback is being recollected for, because we need to find out how Harold got executed and how he got killed in the throne room. Why did he have all those spikes and thorns on him, right? Need to find that out. What did Loki see that day? Who did it? But this is it for me. These One Piece videos usually aren't this long, but I had to come back fresh. So, with that being said, I'm out.